Joe Craig, ladies and gentlemen. He's lined up. Don't bring him in yet, guys. Just for our viewers watching around the world. He's from Gaffney, South Carolina. Came on my radar and for a lot of you with the Saskatchewan Roughriders in 2016. But he had played with the Cincinnati Bengals before that. He spent 2 years with the Roughriders. Just a very electrifying player. And just, wow, man, Wikipedia is a wonderful thing. August 16, 2016, Joe Craig signed with the Roughriders. He recorded 2 receptions for 32 yards. He returned 33 punts, including a 71-yard punt return touchdown versus the Toronto Argonauts on October 15th, 2016. I called it. Like I was doing the play-by-play. Yeah. I didn't predict it.
Yep.
And then in 2017, in a real Chris Jones move, he flipped Joe Craig to defensive back, where he spent 2017 with the Roughriders. But now he's in the spotlight because of an accident, and not a good one, that he had this year, and he's going to join us to talk about his story, talk a little Rough Rider history and so forth. Joe Craig joining us. There he is. Sorry for the preamble there, Joe. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Mr. Pedersen?
Good. It's good to see you again. And I guess, you know, on the whole topic of gratitude and acceptance, I'm glad that you're alive to have this chat today. I'm sure you are too, Joe. Tell us your story since the events of the last several months.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm living in Memphis, Tennessee right now. I came out here. I decided to try to be a graduate assistant, but I've seen the politics side of it, and I decided to just branch off and train young athletes and mentor and go around and do some motivation speaking. But since COVID started, it kind of slowed me down. But on August the 22nd, I was going home from seeing some friends that came to Memphis from out of town to see me. And I was going through a light. A guy made a left turn right in front of me, and he collided with me kind of head on. And honestly, from that point forward, I don't remember anything from the wreck happening until I woke up in a hospital. They went ahead and did surgery on the front part of my neck, and I guess they put me to sleep. And the first thing that I remember when I woke up is seeing my cousin and my father. Like they had time to get there. So I wasn't thinking anything negative. I didn't even know I had gotten a wreck. The first thing that the doctors told me, of course, was that I got in a bad car accident and that I was paralyzed. And they tried to keep talking to me, but I stopped them. And I was like, what do you mean I'm paralyzed? And it was like, well, if you're not paralyzed, Mr. Craig, can you please move your legs, your arms, or anything? And of course, I tried to do so, but I couldn't. And even after they was doing the test on me with the rubber hammer and the pins and needles, I couldn't feel anything at all. And it kind of sunk me into a negative thought, a negative place. And it hit me so hard that I started having seizures. I never had seizures a day in my life, but it kind of hit me just knowing that I was paralyzed and them telling me that I wasn't going to walk and all this. It kind of just put me in a bad, stressful place. Not only did I have seizures, but they also told me that I had 2 strokes on the back of my brain. So that kind of was going to be in a mix of me if I had any good memory, if I was going to be able to talk. I had to go through speech therapy. But I had surgery. To sum it all up, I had surgery on the front of my neck, the back of my neck. I had plates put in on both sides. I had surgery on my spine, my sternum, and my left arm is still broke to this day. And I actually had a follow-up appointment today, this morning, that I went to. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be because they're going to go ahead and do surgery on my left arm. They're going to go in and put screws and rods in, and they're going to do a surgery again on my spine next week. So that's kind of depressing for me. I wanted to just go ahead and get healthy and let it be over with, but I figure I got to go through it again. And although I'm mad right now and upset, I know it's a bigger purpose than what I can see, and I trust the God that I serve.
There's no doubt about that. And by the way, the comments are rolling in like crazy. If you don't mind, I'm going to read a couple of them. From Miranda Foster. Hey, Joe, so glad you're still with us today. So good to see you, Joe. Missed you. You know Miranda. From Arlene in Saskatoon. Hey, Joe, so nice to see you. From our director of scouting, Craig Smith. Prayers for Joe Craig Jr. A lot of people praying for you, Joe. And you're right, there is a message in all this. It's not entirely clear right now to you. I know that for a fact. But you know, what is the prognosis? I saw the video of you attempting to walk the other day. I mean, how's your rehab going, that kind of thing? Have you seen progress in your life since August 22nd? Yeah, tell us about that.
As far as rehab goes, they kind of didn't even want to try to let me attempt to walk. It was more so of my mentality. Once I started getting my feeling back in my legs, and they was putting me through tests where they was putting their hands on the bottom of my feet, telling me to press the gas, and I lift my leg up and don't let them push it down. Once I started seeing myself pass those tests, I knew that I was going to be able to walk, even if it was going to take me a year, 5 years, however long. I wanted to try. That's just who I am. Like, I don't allow anybody to tell me that I can't do something when I know that I can. If I feel I can and I got my mind made up, I'm going to try everything in my power to do so. Although they didn't let me walk in the hospital, I kind of snuck out of the bed on my own and walked to the bathroom and tried to walk to the door, just sneaking around and just doing little steps at a time. I'm walking now. I'm unstable at times. When I get a little winded, because I still got to build my wind back up and my power and my strength back up, because I'm very weak at the moment. But I'm walking fine right now. I'm on my own right now. But to answer your question as to what changed my life, the wreck within itself, it changed me because I see that I was saved. If you go back and look at the pictures of the car, to be honest with you, I didn't even have my seatbelt on. I never wear my seatbelt, but I promise you I will now. But when I was in my Challenger, I never wore my seatbelt at all. So just to look at those pictures and know that I didn't have my seatbelt on, I don't know how I didn't go through the windshield. I don't know how I didn't die, honestly. So that kind of woke me up right there. And then it's another thing that happened in the hospital that some people may not believe, but I never played with it when it comes to my grandma. She just passed away in June. And I remember them preparing me for my second neck surgery on the back of my neck. The nurses and the doctors left, and it was just one nurse left in there. He was putting my gown on me. And I seen my grandma walk through the door, and she came over. And this is after the doctors had did the test on me to see if I could feel anything that they was doing to me, as far as hitting me with the hammer, poking me with the needles and everything. So about 5 to 10 minutes after, she comes through the door, and she walks up to me. She smiles. She grabs my right knee, and she squeezes it so hard it made my leg jerk. So the same thing that the doctors was trying to do when they was hitting me in my knee to see if I react to it, that's the way that I reacted to her when she grabbed my knee. And it kind of scared me because I knew that she had passed away. I knew that it wasn't really like her, but it was realistic. It was like I could reach out and touch her. Like, that's how real it was. So it made me ask the nurse to have he gave me any pain medication yet. And he was taking it as if I was wanting some pain medication right then and there because I was hurting. Because he said, Joe, I didn't give you anything, but I promise you I'm going to give you some after I put this gown on you. So they let me know I wasn't hallucinating. So I took it as, God was just allowing me to see that my grandma was okay, And he also sent her to me just to let me know that he saved me from that wreck for a reason. And I have a purpose down here that I have not fulfilled yet. But I took it as I want to be able to change my life around. Because to be honest with you, had I died that day, I don't know where I would have went. And that's just me being honest. So I just want to be able to change my life around so that when my day does come, my time does come that I leave this earth, I want to be able to go spend eternity with my grandma. So that changed my life around for the better. I don't look at the wreck as negative. I thank God for it happening. I don't like the pain that I'm going through at all. I don't like that I got to go through another surgery, but it's not up to me. My God that I serve is an on-time God, and he places things in our life for reasons. And that's the only thing that I'm seeking right now is my full purpose and the reasons as to why I'm going through what I'm going through.
Well, Joe, I'm so proud of you for one. Look how far you've come, man. I know in 1 month. And also, as they say, if he brought you to it, he'll bring you through it. You know yes, that. Sir. So, again, I can't say, again, how proud I am of you. You know yes, that. And you know what? It will become clear to you. But it's one day at a time, and win the day. And some folks are writing in about the poster over your shoulder. So how's your memory on the day that you returned that touchdown against the Argos, that punt? Is that what that banner is behind you? What do you remember about those days?
I remember every single day I spent in Regina, man. That day is special to me because not only about the touchdown, but also a guy named Joe Manite. He kind of took me under his wing, and he was giving me pointers, and he was giving me tips, and he was becoming like an older brother to me. And he went on and passed after that season. So to me, that's a day and a game that I always rewind in my mind. So it was very special to me. I loved every bit of Regina, from the fans to the game. I didn't like the cold weather, but I just liked the peace and the quiet there. And I always want to go back. Probably after the COVID, probably once I get healthy, I'll probably plan on going back and visiting again.
Well, we will roll out the red carpet. Obviously, I would be very excited for that day. Joe, some people are writing in saying that you're having a walk. I'd like to know how we can help you. How can all of our viewers help you out right now?
Well, yeah, I'm having a walk. I had one in my hometown, and it was honestly like a last-minute thing. I was going to always walk every day as much as I can. And I went home back to Gaffney, South Carolina from Memphis with my dad. And I just wanted, because everybody was showing love and support from my hometown via Facebook. So I just decided just to invite anybody that wanted to come out. I was expecting about 10 to 15 people at the most. But for some reason, it was at least 40 to 50 people to come out. And it was just an awesome feeling. I was surrounded by love. I was surrounded by positivity, and it motivated me to go a little longer than a mile. We actually walked close to 2 miles, man. Just kept going. And I decided to do the same thing here in Memphis, Tennessee since I came back. It's going to be this Saturday. It's going to be right by the river, Timely Park. We're going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to speak to them. I'm going to let them know that it's bigger than myself, and the reason why we all came together is not for me specifically, but just to allow God to shine through each and every one of us. And we're going to walk a mile. If there's anybody that's listening right now that want to join, the only thing that I can ask you to do is just walk a mile for me. And the reason why I say a mile is for 4 reasons. It's for faith, love, positivity, and strength. I decided to walk for those 4 things. That's because that's something that I relied on the whole time that I was in the hospital. And as you know, 4 laps around a track equals a mile. So if you don't mind, just walk a mile for me. If you don't want to walk a mile, just go outside and walk as far as you can. Take pictures of it. Tag me on Twitter. And I appreciate everything that you can do, and prayers as well. I really need that as well.
All right, Joe. And we have producer Clark just told me that we've tweeted your GoFundMe. We ask our viewers to help out there. Joe, you made a mark here. We remember you very clearly, very well, and we want to be there for you now. You did a lot of great things for us. We want to do the same for you. So I appreciate this. Stay strong, my man. Stay positive, and let's keep in touch. And thanks for all you're doing.
Most definitely. Thank you for having me, and continue to pray for me. I appreciate it for real.
We will. The great Joe Craig Jr. joining us from Memphis, Tennessee today. And you can go to our Twitter, Facebook, at Rod Pedersen Show. Everything is linked to Joe's if that's the best way to find it. And we're going to help this guy out. What a story.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.